Well, that was a good way to start the podcast. Hello.
Really?
Welcome to Route 616.
Fuck, I thought you were doing a sound test.
Your home for all things Marvel main continuity. This is episode 49. Next week we hit that milestone 50th episode.
I didn't need to talk about the terrible wrestling I was watching on actual TV. Or on our actual recording.
Oh, shit. Good start, though.
It is a good start.
Yeah, that was actually perfect.
I'm here with Bill and Dan, of course.
Hey, guys.
Dan, we will murder him if he makes terrible puns.
Oh, I would never make terrible puns. I don't know what the fuck it is with you guys. I make excellent puns. You guys just were born with a sense of humor. Seriously. I am the funniest fucking guy you'll ever meet.
I'm sorry, you kind of broke my brain for a minute there with the amount of bullshit.
Yeah, you want bullshit?
Just because Bill doesn't feel physical pain doesn't mean the emotional pain isn't there.
the pain is real, people. You want the pain is real? I made the mistake of watching the new trailer for Indiana Jones 5.
I've seen that.
Of sequels. Oh my God.
Looks terrible, doesn't it?
Oh, but I'm not sure because it was just this kind of, and I hate that a lot of Marvel movies lately and Disney movies have been doing this. Their trailers have been this kind of visual vomit, right? It's just like scenes coming by so fast that you get absolutely no concept of what it is you're going to be paying to watch. Because I don't know.
Well, DC movies could be thrown in that bunch too.
Oh, absolutely.
Hollywood action in general can be thrown that because they did it with Fast 10 too.
Yeah, because there was a time
Except
when
there they threw in the bonus of including literally the last sequence in the movie in the fucking trailer.
Yeah, but
I think they even used it as the teaser trailer.
There was a time when if you got a trailer like that, it meant there was no story and they were just selling you on blah. But if you had a good story, like the original Indiana Jones trailer, hooked you because it told you that this is what it's going to be. And it was interesting. It was fun. You wanted to go see it. Now, all you get is literally this vomit of lightning-fast images that don't really have any context.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Indiana Jones 5, Raiders of the Geriatric Home is not going to be a good movie, so they need to hit you with the image vomit.
No. And boy, isn't it vomit. It's just, oh my God, it just looks so terrible. Right, what little bits and pieces I was able to discern from what I saw. Right, and we're talking like, these things were going by at almost, faster than a second a clip. It just looked really weird, dumb.
Yeah, I have no clue what it's supposed to be about, and I've also seen that trailer.
I haven't, but I also haven't watched any of those movies anyway. So.
Of course you haven't. They're not directed by Rob Zombie.
Yeah, can we talk about this before we get started on this podcast, Ryan? How the fuck can any self-respecting dork look at a camera and say, I never watched Indiana Jones?
What makes you think Ryan has self-respect?
Yeah, really.
What makes you think any of us have self-respect? We worked in a comic shop. Focus, people. Focus. We have no self-respect. We're doing a podcast on a Friday night about comics. But
about
seriously,
bad comics.
I was going to say shitty comics at that.
But
Speaking
seriously, Ryan, how could you not have seen Indiana Jones? That's like one of the there's Star Trek, Star Wars, Indiana Jones.
We're going to have to Clockwork Orange them. And I can say that because they don't know what that means.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to absolutely cherish every moment of him screaming, it's a sin. Don't worry, those shots we're giving you are vitamins. Yeah. Oh, no, he wouldn't even understand Clockwork Orange. Right. Like, it would just go over his head.
You call me stupid?
Yes.
That's kind of rude.
Totally what he was doing, yeah.
Pretty much. A Clockwork Orange came from an entirely different era when standards of education were high enough that they assumed that this generation actually read books every day. And what by books I mean ones with words and no pictures.
Yeah, I know what those are.
Right, and you actually I grew up reading Heinlein, for God's sakes. Most of my political beliefs are based on stuff that, I garnered out of books by Heinlein and Harrison and, Hunter, people like that. And,
I mean, the first half of that is accurate to my experience.
okay.
And then the second half, we have to replace those names with things like Marx, Engels.
Oh, hey, same difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heinlein and Marx, they weren't entirely that far apart.
No, not really.
All right.
But,
Das Kapital wasn't a whole lot different than, Stranger in a Strange Land.
Yeah, I've actually read Stranger in a Strange Land. That's a great book.
It's a brilliant book.
Yeah, but no, Clockwork Orange is willing to invent its own dialect and just assume you can figure out what they're talking about.
Yeah, they are. And and as much as I hate to say this out loud, Kubrick's version was not entirely offensive. He could have done a lot worse. I mean, it had Malcolm McDowell in it, if nothing else. So, but yeah,
that's a strong selling point.
It is, right? You really, I'm sorry, I do not understand how you can not have seen Indiana Jones.
Maybe
like
someday.
Raiders of the Lost Ark is just a prerequisite, right? I mean, this is mother's milk to geekdom. It's like saying you haven't seen Star Wars. Seriously, I don't understand.
Yeah, like
I
those
told
are
you, the piss poor childhood.
those are like the big three nerd series: Star Trek, Star Wars, and Indiana Jones.
Well, I haven't watched Star Trek either, now have I?
Have you seen any Star Trek? You must have seen some Star Trek.
No, not really. I've seen like a random episode on TV while waiting in a pizza place, but that's about it.
Oh my god.
And I didn't like it. It was boring as fuck.
The legitimacy of this
Get the fuck
podcast
off
has
this
just dropped so low. Oh my god. You could put a stuffed toy there, put the headphones on it, you would probably be able to contribute more.
I would have better opinions.
Well, yeah, probably more experience in the genre.
I mean, after I finish the MCU order, I'm doing the Star Trek order.
I raised my daughter on Star Trek and Red Dwarf and shit like that.
Well, you weren't my dad now, were you?
Which is probably better for you. Yeah, I don't imagine I'm Father of the Year at the best of times.
Normally, I would argue yes. In this specific case, they would have seen fucking Indiana Jones.
Well, yes, obviously. It's kind of a given. Although, Monster House, I'm sure, is an appropriate replacement for Indiana Jones.
Of course. Such a timeless classic in the animation field.
This death rattle brought to you by my exasperation with Ryan.
Well, we're in the shoot the shit part of the podcast. Did you all see the awful poster for Blue Beetle?
No.
That
I
has
have
like
not.
50 characters on it or whatever.
Oh, God.
No, I haven't seen that one. I saw a Blue Beetle poster, but it seemed fine.
I think the final count for this new poster of the characters on it was 18.
Jesus.
18 characters on the poster.
Are there even 18 Blue Beetle characters?
Well, they
I
throw
don't know
everybody
who
else
reads
from
Blue
the
Beetle.
DC universe, maybe.
I mean, it's based on the younger Blue Beetle, Jamie Reyes, so...
I've never read a Blue Beetle comic in my life.
It's from the 2006 run. That's when it
Oh, wait,
originally
I have
started.
read Blue Beetle comics from, like, really early, but not of the modern one.
It's,
no, I haven't read any of the modern stuff.
The newer one
original
has
one
more of an
is
expanded
terrible.
cast. More of a side cast. But, yeah, I don't know. Are any of us going to watch that movie? Who knows?
Probably not.
Probably not, unless I finally do a DC watch through.
I might actually watch it out of curiosity.
I don't generally enjoy the DC live-action movies.
Me neither.
No, well,
the only one I liked from when they started this universe was Wonder Woman. But I haven't watched Aquaman or Shazam, so...
Aquaman's not that bad. The
Wow,
first
I
one,
can't even
it's not
find that
bad.
poster. I tried to look it up. I can't find
Yeah,
it. Most I've
no.
found is one with, like, 5 characters on it.
But, I mean, we also have to remember that, the DC universe has Chris Nolan's Batman.
Yes.
Right, so, and that is arguably his first Batman is one of the best superhero films ever. Right. And it had a really strong follow-up. So, it's...
Yeah. I did
doing a podcast with Marvel fangirls just kills me. I don't understand. Anyways, else speak.
I resent being called a Marvel fangirl. I'm reading DC too.
Yeah, but which do you love, Bill?
Honestly, they're about the same.
Interesting. Really?
I don't feel the need to commit tribally to one company or the other.
One of the few who doesn't. I've never understood the rivalry, to be honest, myself, but...
Yeah, I just like good comics. I don't care who writes it.
Yeah, that's why we don't read any of them.
Okay, sure.
I've read good comics, but that's because I'm like 15 years further into the order than you are.
Well, fair enough, I guess. Anyways,
I've also read the entire run of Killraven, so, take the good with the bad.
I sent the pictures, so I kind of want to see the reactions to that, and then maybe we'll actually start
looking at it
talking
right
about
now.
the comics.
That's the one I saw. Okay, there's little people in the background.
Yeah, there's little people in the background and down below and everywhere.
Okay, I just looked at a little picture, and I'm like, okay, there's like 4 people focused on there.
It's not the worst thing I've seen,
It's
but I
not
can
terrible.
see why people,
It just
I can
kinda
see why
seems
people
like
were
scenes.
shitting on it.
It's not good.
Do you know what? It actually, it's very 80s disco style of art.
Yeah.
Right, same with the title. Like
Yeah, it kind of
Beatles.
reminds me of Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's Johnny
They were going for
Mnemonic,
the same
stuff like
aesthetic,
that.
I think, with both of those.
Yeah,
Probably.
that looks like Susan Sarandon in the background there. God only knows. But now that I've seen it, it reminds me that I have actually seen the trailer for Blue Beetle.
Yeah, I think we had it in the chat at one point.
That's how forgettable it was.
I think I
If you
sent
did,
it to
I
you
never
guys.
watched it.
No, I remember seeing it now, and it
Yeah,
just
no, but
completely...
if Ryan sent it to the chat, I never watched it.
Yeah.
I don't usually watch the movie trailers you guys send to the chat.
Same.
Oh, really? So I've been wasting my time sending all these shark
It's
trailers?
about 50-50.
Oh, I watched the shark ones.
It's about 50-50.
Yeah, I send trailers to Ryan in the hopes that he'll watch the movie.
Yeah.
It might entice him, like lesbian vampire killers, movies like that. Does it work? No.
It usually depends on if it comes in, and if I've already seen it, or if I'm busy, then I just don't watch
Ignore
it
it.
and forget to go back to it. And
Yeah.
if I haven't seen it and am not doing anything, I'll actually watch it.
Well, there you go.
Or I'll just go watch the actual movie without getting spoiled by the trailer.
Fair enough.
Well,
So we should probably leap into this.
yeah.
We've already lost
Believe it or not, we
15
do have
minutes.
comics we plan to talk about this week.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
And
to
we
be fair.
apologize in advance for doing this to you.
Yeah, we do.
You might want to just skip like 20-25 minutes and tune back in there. That'll avoid the worst of the shit.
We're going to start off with a couple strange tales, as is what Bill's referring to right now, with issues 130 and 131. Then we're going to jump into Fantastic Four issue of issue number 36. Up after that is X-Men number 10, and then we have Tales to Astonish number 65 A story for some Giant Man action, which we all love. And
Hey,
then,
look at the bright side. It's the best Giant Man we have left this run.
That's not good. And Amazing Spider-Man number 22. It will end the episode off. So let's jump right in. I say 15 minutes into the podcast with issue number 130 of Strange Tales, the A story, of course, because we need to get the Human Torch run done. This is written by Stan Lee. Art is by Bob Powell. Inks by
Bob
Chick
Powell.
Stone. Amen, brother. Cover art by Jack Kirby and letters by Sam Rosen. This is a December 1964 release. What a shitty holiday. 12-page story. And I will take this one. By the way, only a paragraph for the synopsis.
Before you start, I just want to point out Chick Stone is the worst inker for Bob Powell.
Or anybody not named Jack Kirby, it seems, at this point.
I think I've only seen him ink Kirby and Powell that I can remember.
No, he's done at least one other person.
Probably,
forget.
I just don't remember it.
Yeah. I know he has because it catches me off guard when I see him not with Kirby. But yeah, this one's of course this one's titled "Meet the Beatles." If I didn't say that already, I forgot. After roughhousing around the Baxter Building, in brackets, and being scolded by Reed and Sue, Johnny and Ben take Doris and Alicia out to see the Beatles perform their Manhattan gig. Well, the girls get to meet the Fab Four. That's how it's put. Yeah. Well, the girls get to meet the Beatles. Ben and Johnny chase after some common crooks who stole the box office receipts. The two's bickering and some sloppy superhero work, yeah, amen to that, makes an easy job somewhat difficult for the two to accomplish, but they eventually catch the crooks and recover the money. However, they end up missing the Beatles' performance. That's the synopsis.
And they were called the Fab Four.
Yes, that's a known nickname for the Beatles.
What do you mean, probably? They were.
Yeah, I'm just saying they probably were. I don't know anything about the Beatles.
God. You know what they don't look like from the art in this?
The Beatles?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of a pointless title. It was just to cash in on the Beatles hype.
Yeah, literally, that's what it was.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
They did not put the A-team on this book or on this story at all. They just like, whoever's sitting around, we want to cash in on the Beatles.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the best, closest you're ever going to come to a filler.
Yeah, no supervillain. Nothing interesting happens. Just, the Beatles are topical. Let's talk about that. And it's terrible, and I gave it 1 star and hated it so much that even 5 years later, this is one of the few titles I could remember without going back and looking at the list. This and the next issue, both of them, I've remembered the titles for 5 years because I hated them that much.
Well, the Beatles were such a cultural moment.
Yes, but the Beatles don't do anything in this comic. They're just there.
Yeah.
Bill and I disagree on half the comics this week, and this is actually one of them. I didn't hate this. I just strongly disliked it. This actually got a 2 out of me. I can't really blame them for cashing on the Beatles site.
Yeah, I can't blame. It didn't get the 1 for being a shameless cash-in. It got the 1 for being terrible.
It
and
sucks.
Having ugly art.
It sucks. I just didn't hate it. So that's the difference for me.
I think the thing that took it down to 1 for me was the art in it.
I was going to say Bob Powell probably helped.
Yeah, Thing looks like a fucking armadillo. They completely didn't texture him at all.
The story was an easy enough read, and I think the characters' interactions between the two main characters have gotten pretty good. So I just gave it the 2.
Sorry, I just saying something. Bill will get it.
Okay, I get that. I know a little bit. I just don't know, like... God damn it. Anyways,
we're just assuming that.
Look, I just don't know nicknames and shit, and I don't know. I know some of the songs and shit, but like, and some of the main stuff, but I didn't know they were called the Fab Four.
Ryan, it's okay because you're not knowing anything about pop culture. Kind of makes it easier on me for not having read the comics. I don't feel so bad about the fact that I don't read these comics, that I'm just sort of throwing out these nasty critiques simply based on what you're telling me. You know, but I mean, knowing that you don't know anything about science fiction or anything like that does tend to help. You know, or good movies, like, you know, that sort of thing. It does tend to make it a lot easier on me. I don't feel as guilty. Right, you know. Hi, Ryan.
Anyways, let's move on to Strange Tales number 131, the A story. This one's to you're gonna unlock something here soon, buddy. This one's titled "The Bouncing Ball of Doom," aka the other comic that haunts Bill's nightmares. This one's written by Stan Lee, art again by Bob Powell. How lucky are we? Inks by Dick Ayers. Cover art even is by Bob Powell, if you couldn't tell by the decline in quality. And then Sam Rosenson letters. January 1965 release date. What a shit start to the new year. And 12-page story. And I will let Dan take this one.
Oy vey. Okay. The Bouncing Ball of Doom. Ooh, this could
and not
really
the Doctor.
Hurt. Yeah, this could really hurt. So coming right off the Marvel database here, we give you the synopsis. When the Human Torch and Thing are asked to stop some crooks who just robbed a bank, they are unaware that this is yet another crime planned by the Mad Thinker. Why can't we have a villain called the Happy Thinker? Or the, sort of whatever
because
thinker.
happy thinkers don't commit crime.
Yes, they do. Joker commits crime. He's happy.
He's not exactly a thinker. He's more of an act on impulse.
He Batman on more than one occasion.
True.
I'll have you know.
Hey, there's a lot of weed smokers in the States that would disagree with you, buddy.
This time, to deal with any members of the Fantastic Four who may interfere with his plans, the Tinker has created a giant remote-control bouncing ball that he saw in a TV show called The Prisoner to attack his foes with. Setting it loose on the two heroes, they are disoriented by the device at first, but the Torch eventually destroys it with his flame powers, and the Thing nabs the bank robbers, foiling the Thinker's plot. So, tell me there's more to this than that.
No, they fight a fucking Super Bowl for 8 pages. And they lose for 7 of those pages.
God.
See, this one I agreed with Bill. I gave this one star as well.
You see Patrick McGowan running along in the background going, "No, I'm not a number. I'm a free man."
I haven't actually seen The Prisoner, so does it also threaten a dam?
Threaten a dam?
Threaten a dam. Because this one, the bouncing ball, half the danger is the bouncing ball is going to destroy a dam.
Okay.
And the guy that created the dam gets himself almost killed.
Damn.
They have to fill pages really hard in this story.
I see that. No, there's no dam in The Prisoner.
I didn't think that. You really are going full fill.
Oh,
Tell me you bought that muffin exclusively for this.
No, but I knew I had these and thought of this joke earlier. I'm young, I'm tired, I'm beat up, and I work for fucking children.
You work for yourself. That's the best thing.
Yeah.
This is your podcast, motherfucker.
I mean, I could be referencing my actual job too, but yeah, yes, this is my baby technically.
Wow.
But yeah, go fucking empty-headed fucks that couldn't run a blockbuster. Dan's just here. Dan doesn't even have
nothing to
context.
offer.
This is just a bit for me and Bill.
It'd be like if Bill and I were talking about Star Wars. Ryan would have no context.
Or really, any pop culture that wasn't released by the Disney Channel.
Yeah, we were talking about like Marvel movies or stuff like that. Ryan
The Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones, Star Trek.
Actually, let's be fair. Let's shoot in their lifespan. The Matrix.
Ooh. Oh, come on. That's crap anyway.
Actually, I think the first one of that came out when I was literally a baby, so...
Yes, I know. I was aiming for something that you were just barely born for the joke.
Equilibrium. No, he would have been young with that, too, wouldn't he? I'm trying to think of something beyond Powerpuff Girls. They've
probably seen that.
Well, yeah. That's
only random episodes. Pretty much like Star Trek.
Have you seen Totally Spies?
Yes, actually.
There you go.
I hated that show, but I watched a decent amount.
That show was done for straight men, the fathers, children. It wasn't done for kids. Dan,
I think they were like 14. Are you revealing something here? I don't know. I've never actually seen an episode of Totally Spies. I just understood they were like teenagers.
Yeah, they're teenage girl spies.
I knew that much. I can figure it out from context clues.
Yeah, Moira used to watch it all the time. And the Powerpuff Girls and Scooby-Doo. Sorry, Ryan, Scooby-Doo is a cartoon show about a dog, a Great Dane, who has 4 friends and they solve mysteries.
I'm pretty sure Ryan has seen the Scooby-Doo WWE crossovers.
Really? With John Cena and The Undertaker?
And Sin Cara.
They tie into bad wrestling. They've almost certainly seen it for that.
No, I suppose that's fair. That's fair, because there's the alien is always, you pull off his mask and it's some old man Smithers or old man Burns or something.
Or very occasionally, a Super Bowl.
Or it's kind of the opposite of Doctor Who, where they pull off the alien mask or the human mask, and it's a old man green alien or whatever.
That's it. I'm getting the network to launch a new show so we can have a brand split.
Really, really, are you? Okay, can we move on to the next?
Ryan's
comic?
going to host their own podcast with blackjack and hookers.
Ooh, I like hookers.
That's a reference to Futurama, Ryan.
I can't from everything.
Oh fuck! Let's get this going. Fantastic Four number 36 is up next.
Oh.
This one is titled The Frightful Four. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, of course, on this one. Chick Stone on inks. Jack Kirby on the cover. Already some ink on letters. January 1965.
Wow.
January 1965 release date, 21-page story, and Bill will take this one away.
All right. For the record, I just want to point out, this is the best incarnation of the Frightful Four we will ever get.
Okay.
Because in this one, we still have our boy Triple P before he changes his name.
Oh, well.
Triple P? When you gotta go, but okay.
He half changes it here.
Yeah, but he still starts with Triple P.
He still gets called Baseball Pete a lot, though.
I mean, he gets called Pastebot Pete into the modern era, and that's what you need.
But his new name is...
Yeah, I know he debuts it here. Anyway, this is a long one. Reed Richards and Sue Storm publicly announced their engagement to the press. As they are making their announcement, a package is delivered from the Yancey Street Gang. The Thing opens it, fearing it's the worst. It should just be fearing the worst, but someone messed up their grammar, and discovers that it's a bomb of some kind. However, instead of a harmful explosion, the bomb was a gag filled with flowers. Elsewhere, Pastebot Pete meets with the Sandman and the Wizard to form a new group to go after their mutual foe, the Human Torch.
To warm up for the Beatles.
Yes. Pete and the Sandman recount how they broke out of prison, stole a plane, and saved the Wizard from floating out into space following his last battle with the Human Torch.
Oh, I remember that, yeah. God, I just love it when something they did in the first reel plays out in the fourth reel. It's just awesome. You have no idea how to respond to that, do you?
I'm just not going to give you the satisfaction.
Okay, fine. Ryan, go watch Return of the Killer Tomatoes. So how's your cupcake muffin? Or sorry, how's your muffin cupcake?
It's great.
Speak, Ryan, speak. Damn it, man.
I was on mute.
Because you were eating a cupcake? Or a muffin, or what the hell ever?
I don't know. We'll have to figure out what Twitter decides.
Okay.
Are you two done flirting so I can get through this?
Oh, fine. Yeah, stop flirting with me, Ryan. I'm straight. Piss off.
That's not what Peter says.
Ooh, Peter Parker?
Yes.
Did Peter pork her or pork him?
I thought you porked Peter.
I didn't pork Peter. Peter, I don't pork people.
I mean, I can go back and find that episode where you admitted to it.
You could.
But I'm really lazy, and you know that.
If I was going to pork somebody, I'd pork Porcupine.
That sounds
like
painful.
alliteration.
All right, Stan.
Okay, let's go.
The Wizard then tells them that he heard of a potential fourth member to their group, a strange woman who can control her hair that lives on an island out in the Mediterranean Sea and has no memory of her past. Meanwhile, the Fantastic Four are busy preparing for the wedding. As arrangements are being made, the Frightful Four meet for the first time and began plotting the doom of their good counterparts. Back at the Baxter Building, an engagement party is underway with the Avengers and the X-Men in attendance. The Frightful Four make their attack after the partygoers leave, ambushing and incapacitating the Thing, the Invisible Girl, and Mr. Fantastic.
That's a shame. It didn't mention the gag with Spider-Man.
It's one panel.
I know.
Who gagged Spider-Man?
Apparently you.
Ooh.
They are unaware that Alicia Masters is also on the premise, and while the Frightful Four are placing anti-gravity discs on their foes, she takes the signal flare from Sue's belt and fires it off. It is seen by the Human Torch, who is over at his friend's garage working on a car, and he races to the Baxter building. However, Alicia is caught by Medusa, and she too is taken prisoner. The 4 prisoners are then left to drift into the sky on the Wizard's anti-gravity discs. The Torch rushes onto the scene and, using his flame powers, forces the Wizard to fly his anti-gravity ship into the sky and rescues his friends. After the Fantastic Four and Alicia are rescued, the ship is attacked by the Frightful Four, who followed after them in the Fantastic Four's pogo plane. Forced to land, the 2 groups battle it out until things start going in the Fantastic Four's favor. Seeking to escape, the Wizard detonates his ship, allowing the Frightful Four to flee the scene in all the confusion.
Okay.
That's it. It literally ends with them having run away. They ran it right up against the page count, so they didn't even have any sort of post scene. It's just they escape and they're like, well, I guess we'll find them again sometime in 2 or 3 issues.
It's pretty good. It's pretty decent.
It.
I gave it 3 stars.
It's not horrible. I will concede that only.
I also gave it 3 stars.
It's probably the comic of the week. Well, this or the next one, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's this one for me.
I think I still would probably give it this one, too. But not by a huge margin.
No, they're pretty comparable in enjoyment, but there's some writing decisions made with the next one that this one edges it out.
That's what I was thinking, too. We're probably thinking they're all on the same fin, so on that. But...
Ka-Zar's broken English because he's an English lord who somehow never learned how to speak proper English.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they dropped that by either his next appearance or 1 or 2 after that. Definitely by the time his backstory is revealed.
Okay.
And they've decided that he's more than just a straight Tarzan clone.
He's a gay Tarzan clone?
I mean...
I'm just asking for a friend.
His only companion is male.
Ooh. He puts the ball in ball gag, does he?
Please don't ball gag Zabu.
Oh, come on.
Oh, God. Yeah, maybe. We still have to talk about this comic, and I guess we should
just want to see
start.
Bill laughs at this. He'll tell me everything I need to know about what kind of humor he is.
So...
I'm fighting very hard to not give you the satisfaction. And I'm losing.
Oh, God, it's such a great... It's so funny.
It's fantastic.
Now let's see what Ryan does.
X-Men number 10.
He just
Did you
ignores
send
it.
something?
You bastard.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Oh, I already
Dancing.
looked at that.
And
I
you
just
didn't-
didn't mention it because we were talking.
Oh, okay, fine.
I thought it was funny, but... I just didn't...
Holy fuck, what a write-up. Are you serious?
Stuff happened. I read it pretty quick, so I might have...
Oh,
This is a
God.
fast read, but a lot of stuff happens in it.
I was going to say, have you guys looked at the write-up for this?
No.
The summary? Oh, my God.
I
This
mean,
is-
even Giant
this
Man
should-
has a longer one than normal, by quite a lot.
Well, this could take up its entire own episode.
X-Men number 10, The Coming of Ka-Zar.
Ka-Zar.
Stan Lee's writing this bad boy, of course. Jack Kirby on art. Inks by Chick Stone. Jack Kirby on the cover. Sam Rosen on letters. January 1965 release date. A 20-page story. And Dan will take us through this lovely tale.
Oh, God. I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can, because this is a huge, huge synopsis. Iceman, Beast, and Marvel Girl are training in the danger room when Scott enters the room to commend them on the mastery of their abilities. Scott notices that Warren is not present at the training session. Fearing something is wrong, the X-Men search the mansion to find out where their teammate is and find Warren, out of uniform, glued to the television. What kind of prick would glue somebody to a TV? That's just twisted.
His Putt Pete.
Ah, hey, good point. He's watching a news report on an Antarctic expedition. the expedition has found one of their numbers missing. However, they find the mission scientist and start.
I'm sorry, I just hear Star Wars music in the background just popping.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry about that, guys.
I thought you hadn't seen that.
Well, it's not like we haven't told him what it is 1,000 times. The missing man had been rescued by a strange muscle-bound human wearing only a loincloth and accompanied by a saber-toothed tiger. The large and heavily armed convoy opens fire on the jungle man and his pet.
Careful with your hard R's.
And his pet attacked the other scientists before vanishing into the winter wastelands. Theorizing that the strange man might be a fellow mutant, the X-Men tell the news to Professor X, who consents his students to go to the Antarctica themselves to investigate.
That was an awkward sentence structure.
That was really hard. While the others cheerful rush out to the professor's study, excited to be heading out on another adventure, Scott stays behind wondering if the team is ready to go out alone.
I feel like some of these are written by people whose first language is not English.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think that myself. The professor reassures and gives Cyclops his blessing that the team is ready to go out in the field without the professor's physical presence and supervision, and commends Scott for his leadership skills. Okay.
We're taking away our Deus Ex Machina for this episode, in other words.
Apparently. Sometime later, the X-Men arrive in Antarctica and travel across the frozen waste until they arrive at the location of the Jungle Man's attack. Investigating further on foot, they uncover a crack in the ice, which Cyclops blasts open wider with his optic blast. The team finds a hidden tunnel and journeys into what appears to be an ice cavern. Along the way, they come across dinosaur bones that are impossibly young. At the end of the tunnel, they find a prehistoric jungle in the middle of Antarctica. This is just flying up to scope the place out. Angel soon finds himself targeted by a swarm of pterodactyls. However, a combination of Angel's fast flying and the Cyclops' optic beams send the creatures fleeing. To the X-Men's surprise, they find many prehistoric animals thought extinct in this strange, savage land. Angel scouts ahead further while the rest of the team explores on the ground. The X-Men are soon attacked by the Swamp Men, a tribe of hunters who have superior hunting skills that ride on giant bird beasts. They easily get the drop on the X-Men, knocking most of the numbers out with swamp gas. They also kidnap Marvel Girl. Witnessing the battle, the Jungle Man, named Ka-Zar, goes to the X-Men's rescue with the aid of his tiger, Zabu. I kind of like that name, Zabu.
Zabu is a great name.
Yeah, Zabu,
everything about Zabu is awesome.
Yeah, he's a tiger. And he's great. When the X-Men revive, Beast thanks Ka-Zar and puts a hand on him, which offends the Jungle Man enough to prompt him to attack the X-Men.
Yeah, just like that fucking joke.
Yeah.
That offended me.
The heroes are then forced to subdue their savior. However, the fight is quickly ended when Ka-Zar's mortal enemy, the ape-man Ma-Gor, appears. Ka-Zar easily defeats him in single combat and sends him fleeing. After the battle, Ka-Zar agrees to help the X-Men free Marvel Girl from the swamp people. Jesus, is this ever end? This is going on and on and on.
Yeah, I feel like I just read this.
Yeah, elsewhere, Angel continues scouting the savage land when he's also captured by swamp men and brought back to the village. There, he's reunited with Jean, and the two are brought to the top of a pyramid, where they are to be sacrificed to a deadly Tyrannosaurus Rex. Cool.
This starts an ongoing trend with Ka-Zar stories.
Good.
Stan, or whatever editor-in-chief is in place at the time, sits down with the bullpen and goes, "All right, who here can draw a dinosaur? You can't? Perfect, you're on Ka-Zar."
Right. Okay. Wow. That's just mean. You guys got to hold back here because I still got to. I think I'm only about a third of the way through here.
Please keep going then.
The sight of the creature frightens Jean so badly that she pees her suit, and she can't concentrate enough to use her telekinetic powers to free herself and Angel from their bindings.
Some of that is true.
Why didn't she just free herself earlier, before?
Well, your transcription's a little misleading there. They coded the ropes that bound her with something so that she couldn't make them
Oh, so you couldn't use your telekinetic powers?
Yeah, they were like greased. I can't remember if they were greased or like glued together, but something prevented her from being able to untie
or
it.
something.
Oh, so they were anti-psychokinesis.
Yeah, I think they were covered in like sap that made them too sticky.
So stand science.
Yeah, exactly. It's stand science, but they did give an explanation beyond she's a woman who can't do it.
Really? Yeah, okay. The other X-Men, Ka-Zar and Zabu, soon arrive outside the Swampmen's village and mount an attack, smashing through the defenses with relative ease. As this is going on, Jean manages to compose herself to use her telekinetic powers to trip up the T-Rex and free herself and Angel. So now the stand science doesn't work?
Whatever actually happens is they didn't have time to treat Angel's bonds, so she was able to untie his hands.
Okay, that's good. Anyway.
She does trip the T-Rex, though, and takes it out permanently. I don't think it ever shows up back in the fight again after that.
Okay, able to fly away, Warren grabs Jean and the two join their comrades in battle. Ka-Zar then helps the X-Men dodge the Swampmen's death traps and calls a herd of charging mastodons to smash through the wooden fence that surrounds the village. Well, if there's mastodons out there with the Tyrannosaurs, at least Tyrannosaurs have lots to eat. You know, because totally, that's what they used to live on, wasn't it?
Oh, exactly. At least with Stan's understanding of prehistory.
Yeah.
If there's a mastodon out there, somebody's about to have a rough go.
Not a masturbate Don, a mastodon. Two different things, right? With the defenses smashed, the X-Men, Ka-Zar and Zabu, make short work of the Swampmen, sending them fleeing into the jungle in defeat. After the battle, they find Hank embarrassingly caught on a giant pole and save him. Later, Cyclops thanks Ka-Zar for his help and offers to accompany them back to the surface world. However, Ka-Zar rejects the offer, telling the X-Men that the Savage Land is his home. The X-Men part with Ka-Zar as friends and return to the surface, leaving Ka-Zar behind. Well, that would presuppose that they part with Ka-Zar in the first place. God, this is badly written. After the X-Men have left, Ka-Zar commands the Mastodons to cover up the entrance to the Savage Land with boulders to prevent intruders from the outside world from coming. Oh my God, this is so hard to read.
I mean, that would work better if the Savage Land wasn't in fucking Swiss cheese, because a new hole opens up every single time they want to use it.
Yeah, okay, so after the X-Men have left, Ka-Zar commands the Mastodons to cover up the entrance to the Savage Land with boulders to prevent intruders from the outside world from coming to the Savage Land ever again. Okay.
I thought mastodons were supposed to be hard to work with.
There.
How many Vader jokes are we going to get tonight?
Wow. The terror birds.
Anyways, that was a solid 3-star comic.
Yeah, it was a 3-star. It was pretty good.
I like
At
Ka-Zar.
this point,
Not
Ka-Zar,
necessarily this version as much. But...
Yeah, I don't like this version much. This is Tarzan with a different name because he was copywritten.
But still great to see Zabu though.
Yeah, Zabu was a nice touch. And I'm glad that they very quickly dropped the blatant Tarzan clone and only turned him into mostly a Tarzan clone and then a Conan clone.
They literally mentioned Tarzan in the issue too.
Yeah, just in case you weren't able to figure out who it was, because Stan figures everyone's as dense as he is on these things.
Yeah. So are there any other humans in this land, or is it just swamp men? Is Ka-Zar like the only human?
Until Ka-Zar gets his own title and they find about 500 separate lost tribes that he never knew about before until they needed a new cast of characters.
Okay.
Yeah, Ka-Zar is a pretty terrible king of the...
Well, I just there's
like I said, it's a Conan clone. It goes on to be a Conan clone.
I could see the beginnings of Commandy here.
Yeah,
in certain ways, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is when Jack's at the helm. Is he's a Commandy.
Yeah.
prototype. And then
Yeah.
once Jack leaves, he turns into a Conan clone because they wanted to have Conan in the main 616 order.
Yeah, Ryan Conan is a comic by Robert E. Howard that was very, very popular back in the 70s and 80s. Arnold Schwarzenegger did some movies as Conan, things like that. It wasn't a Disney thing, so I'm assuming you haven't seen it.
It is a Disney thing.
Oh, aren't he a Disney princess now?
No,
Never
but
used to be.
Marvel published a lot of the early Conan. That's Disney.
They did, but they didn't own the property. They bought it from Howard.
Yeah, it was
The Conan books
licensed.
Yeah. They were in this thing. It had like paper pages with words on them. We called them books. There were no pictures.
Anyways, on to Tales to Astonish
We're
number
going to have so
65.
much fun with this from now on.
The Ace story.
God, we're going to have so much
You
fun
broke
with this.
them.
Mm-hmm.
I like to only hit it a couple of times when it's most devastating.
Starting to miss when you worked.
Yeah?
I definitely miss when he worked, because then I could get chicken. That didn't suck.
That
Yeah.
too.
Good luck
that
with
too.
that now, boy. Oh, boy.
That too.
Last time I was in there, I was up all night with the shits. I'm not going back.
I haven't tried. I haven't dared.
Don't try.
Don't go to
Don't
a
do it.
different fucking Mary Brown's. That one
Yeah, don't
is
go
like
there now. It's just, oh my God.
they don't
Any-
know what the fuck they're doing. I was
No.
the only customer, and it took like 25 minutes to get my food, and they were basically out of chicken.
Wow. Yeah.
I
Okay.
ordered a
Anyways.
fucking Big Mary.
Really?
They should be able to just like Big
That's
Mary
a
and taters. They should be able to
4-minute
do
job,
that
yeah.
in like 2 minutes, but no one knew
Yeah.
what they were doing.
Yeah, I've heard.
Wow.
I've heard.
Anyways, Tales to Astonish number 65, titled The New Giant Man. Written by Stan Lee, art by, you guessed it, Bob Powell. Inks by Don Heck. Jack Kirby and Chick Stone on the cover here. Sherry Gale on letters, making her, first appearance in the order. First of 3, by the way. She appears next Tales to Astonish issue, and then in Avengers quite a ways away, actually. And then...
Say bye.
And then this is a January 1965 release date and a 12-page story. And I will take this one. Henry Pym is working in his lab to make improvements to his Giant Man costume. Explaining to the Wasp the modifications, he succeeds in creating a new costume that will allow him to affect the size of anything around him. The Wasp finds that the costume that Pym designed is too ugly. She takes it into another room to work on it while he tests his new device on his cat Tabby. He succeeds
Because that's what's necessary to get people reading Giant Man again. A new,
Some
even
pussy.
uglier costume.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about
that'll
some
do it.
pussy. Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, that I'm told would improve interest, but we're
No.
still under the comic code. And we just got, better pussy in the last comic.
Wow.
We sure did. Tabby sucks. But
Tabby
wow.
is no Zabu.
anyways, he succeeds in making Tabby grow in size, but the cat soon attempts to attack him. And in the struggle, the cat knocks over a bottle containing Pym's growth formula, while Pym manages to shrink the cat down in size. He attempts to grow in size, but when he shrinks back down, the device feeds back and causes Tabby to grow again as he shrinks himself. He finally manages to shrink the cat back to its normal size, little realizing that his growth formula is dripping onto a spider on the floor. He finally notices the bottle and sets it up and begins cleaning the mess. Finishing his new costume, the Wasp brings it to Pym to try it on. While he's in another room changing into Giant Man, he hears the Wasp scream in fear. Entering his lab, he sees a giant spider attacking the Wasp and sprints into action. Using his athletic skill, size changed abilities, and with the aid of the Wasp, Giant Man fights his way to his control helmet to grow, and that's bad grammar. to his control helmet and uses it to grow to giant size. I had to reword that completely because that was fucked up. Knocking the spider out of the window and shrinking it down to its natural size to fall to its death. With the monster defeated, the two heroes recover from the attack, and the Wasp talks Giant Man into going out dancing. The end.
Okay. What
So
was
yeah,
the point
nothing
here?
happened in this comic except that it's an advertisement for Giant Man's new costume.
Okay.
And they change how his size powers work.
It sure isn't no new Iron Man armor either.
Yeah.
Because now he changes size with the cybernetic helmet instead of taking drugs to do it.
Or doing it through his mentally. He's been changing his size mentally for how many issues now, and then all of a sudden he can't because he has a helmet that he's created now.
Right.
This whole issue is fucking dumb.
Ooh.
This issue sucks. I gave this 1 star. I hated this. This
A
was
few
bullshit.
boos from the gallery. We see.
The costume's fucking ugly. Fucking Janet needs to be goddamn arrested by the fashion police. Fucking... The story makes no goddamn sense and completely ignores the previous continuity completely, which they're in a death spiral, so they're just trying to do shit.
the hard reboots. There will be like 2 more hard reboots in Giant Man out of the 4 issues we have remaining.
It's totally
Yeah.
ridiculous. And this is supposed to be the best one we have left.
Oh, it is.
Oh, God.
I gave it 2 stars.
Fuck that. Fuck
Fuck
that.
this. Fuck that. Fuck them all.
I hated it. I hated this comic. I was so
Yeah.
pissed off reading that fucking
Flames
comic. Bob
shooting.
Powell art as well. Personally, this was the Bob Powell art that I hated the most for some reason. Possibly just because he had to draw a female, like, all the time, and it was really pissing me off.
Wow.
Like I
Yeah.
said in the group chat, inked by Dick Ayers, this wasn't bad art for 1942.
Oh, okay.
It's just art changed a lot in the subsequent 20 years.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. This was bad.
Yeah.
But
okay,
anyways.
well, the story sounds really...
The story
Pointless.
is boring, but like, it's Giant Man. At this point, are you surprised that the story is boring?
No, I think it's not so much that it's boring, it's pointless.
This guy's supposed to be a genius, and he was testing his fucking formula on his goddamn cat, and
This
not
is
even taking into account that he wasn't taking into account the reactions that could make, and then with the difference
to make
between
it worse, it's not actually his cat.
no, and
It's Jan's cat.
it is,
And he waits till she's out of the room and then experiments on it.
But this is like literally gold key level plotting.
and then we get some Invisible Girl
Hey.
bullshit where
Gold Key deserves better than that.
Okay,
And
fair
then we
enough.
get some Invisible Girl bullshit where if he makes the cat bigger, but then he shrinks because I guess you can't have 2 grown beings at the same time.
Well, yeah, you can't because
I
that
think
would be a
the
lot of art.
principle actually survives into another story. I don't
God.
remember for sure, but I think it might be a thing in like the second to last Giant Man story.
And then Hank's at the end of the issue, he shrinks this. I think he does shrink the spider at the end or whatever.
Yeah,
and he's,
because Jan was worried that it was going to like crush people on the sidewalk, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I
Yeah.
shrunk it once. I threw it at the window."
and then he's like,
If
"Oh
he
yeah."
could just do that, why did he kill it?
He's like, I can shrink other people now, too.
Oh,
That I don't think ever comes up again.
This is just
probably for the best.
yeah, because that would just be that's
What a way to get rid of all your villains. Shrink them and step on them.
Well, exactly. I think they probably realized how stupidly overpowered that would
Ask
be.
the Incredible Hulk how well shrinking things works.
I would, but he's a fictional character, so that's kind of hard.
Anyways, enough
Although,
about Giant Man.
in Stan's defense, and I can't believe I'm saying this,
God,
but I think
here
he
we
could
go.
only shrink stuff he had grown. I don't think he could just shrink.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think he could just like see the human top and shrink him.
Sorry, I'm just trying to see if I can kick
Yeah.
Bill out of the group.
You know, Disney Plus is putting out a Stan Lee film.
I did not know that, but
Yeah,
I
the
did
first
know
trailer
that.
dropped. Yeah, I think it's a documentary about Stanley
It
himself.
is.
Right.
that could be interesting if they're honest
It
with it.
sounded interesting.
Yeah,
Because
but
it can go two ways. It can go with the slavish praise, which, he deserves a lot of the praise he gets, but that's not the whole story.
Yeah.
Or they could tell about, like, the bad stuff about him, too, and that could be quite interesting if they talk about, like, how he was a dick to people and stuff.
Well,
Because there's an awful lot of people that refuse to work with Stan Lee again, including Jack Kirby.
I
Yeah.
imagine it'll be
Yeah.
more of the praise, but maybe they'll touch on the bad stuff briefly, but kind of brush over it, if anything.
yeah, well, the thing is, I bring it up simply because I'm about to declare war on Disney. It's going to be no, seriously, it's going to be a private little war.
All right, Ron.
No, one of my favorite films of all time.
I just
Hold
realized what
on,
you said.
hold on. One of my favorite films of all time is The Full Monty.
I
consider-
love that movie.
I think it's one of the best.
That is a movie about
independent
male
films.
strippers that are kind of homely, Ryan.
Yeah, it's basically a bunch of guys living in an industrial city that's kind of collapsed, right? Businesses kind of died. They're all unemployed. And they're all
Imperial
like
March.
factory workers, and they decide to form a stripper group, like whatever those guys
The
are.
Chippendales is who you're looking for.
Right. They decide to become the British version of Chippendales, only they're all factory workers, and they don't really fit the bill. Right. And the film itself is very sweet. It's very heartwarming. It's very well done.
I
It's
adore
very
that
tasteful.
movie.
It's literally one of my favorite films of all
Yeah,
time.
I haven't seen a good stripper movie,
Oh.
male stripper movie since Magic Mike,
No, this is 1,000 times better than Magic Mike. Like, this is a very thoughtful study in
I
psychology.
thought I was going to hate it when I watched it. I went in fully
loved
prepared
it.
to hate it, and I loved
Really,
it.
I loved every second. I thought it was brilliant.
So,
I thought it was
Anyway.
going to be just stupid, ugly guys stripping jokes, and it wasn't.
No, it's nothing like that.
What was the
And
point of the story?
Brilliant freaking cast. It's a bunch of men trying to find a way to survive.
no, I mean, like, what was the point of your
Oh, the
war?
point of my story. I saw a trailer today, Disney Plus, The Full Monty. And I'm so pissed that looks like they're doing a sequel
Oh,
With-
fuck no.
with the original cast: Robert Carlyle, Mark Addy. I'm not sure
That's-
if they're doing it as a series or as a standalone film, but they're doing a sequel to The Full Monty.
It's going in the same category as like Zoolander 2 and Anchorman 2 as
And the Willow
sequels
TV
that do not
series.
exist.
Yeah, the Willow TV series.
What Willow TV series? There's no Willow
Exactly.
TV series.
No, there's not. So, and there's no way they won't screw this up completely, because there's no way they would understand the nuances of the original film.
Call me Greg Abbott. I'm joining your war.
Thank you. I'm serious. I'm pissed about this. Oh dear. There goes Ryan. We've lost him. I am serious. I'm really, really, really angry about this. I
Yeah,
can't
no, now
believe-
I am too. I wish you hadn't told me that story.
I can't believe that Disney would have the audacity to pick this property up and try and do a sequel to it. It's just, after the disastrous trail of broken franchises they've left behind in the last decade, between Star Wars and Indiana Jones and the Marvel Phase 4 and all the stuff
I hate
now,
to
and
say it,
Willow.
though. As bad as all of those things have been, a fuckload of people have watched all of them.
Yes, and a fuckload of people have hated every second of them.
That
There's a
doesn't
lot of
ma-
hate watching going on
That
here.
doesn't matter, though, Dan. People watched it.
Ugh.
That's all Disney cares about. They don't
People watched
care
the
if
first
it's...
episode.
Yeah, but if it's a movie, there is only one episode.
True. But yeah,
I mean,
now
it's the same reason they're doing live-action versions of all the animated films that everyone loves,
yeah,
because they know
people will go see it.
people will go see it, even though they know it'll be terrible. They'll hate watch it,
Yeah,
and
but-
they'll get millions of views, and people will complain about it online, which will make more people watch it to see how bad
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, that's true.
How
That's
do you
what
think
Netflix
Thelma got a
did.
second season?
They're weaponizing terrible properties on purpose because of hate watching. It's
Yeah,
easier making it good, so they make it terrible and get people to hate watch it.
Yeah, and YouTube's to blame for this because everybody and their twin capitalizes on the hate watching and, posts a video about, whatever everybody hates and everybody goes to watch it. Like people like The Critical Drinker and The Yellow Flash and Mr. H all do this. They simply get all the hits because they're talking about things that people hate. They're not bringing anything to the table. They're just sitting there pissing and moaning like a bunch of babies about this stuff.
Yeah. Although those guys go a little further because even if people don't actually hate it, they'll make something up to hate it. Like, look at all the Brie Larson hate.
Yeah, but I find with a lot of times, all they're doing is literally sitting there reading a webpage review from Variety or whatever.
Oh yeah,
that's all they're doing.
They just pump out 10-minute videos that are just long enough to get the ad revenue and piss off the chuds.
Yeah.
But
my point is,
the problem with those movies goes beyond it because other than the people that have made a career out of weaponizing hate, with stuff like Velma or the new Little Mermaid or so, plenty of people that don't have plenty of people that don't have political reasons to hate the films also hate them because they're terrible movies.
Well, yes, and
people watch because of this. Like, people will watch because of that. Like, anyone can piss off the chuds. That's easy. Just put a woman in a prominent role. They hated fucking Super Mario Brothers because Peach wore pants, and no, I'm not making that up.
I heard. It's just like, God, I
would have watched stuff they wouldn't like.
But it's like they're literally taking one of the more sacred properties, the full Monty.
Yeah, and plenty of people are going to have your reaction and get really, really mad about it, and then everyone's going to go watch it to see if it's as bad as they said, and Disney will get millions of dollars.
Yeah. Now the truth is, I will watch it simply because I'm curious. No, I will. I want to know, what they're going to do with this. How do you follow this up?
That's where we are different. I will steadfastly refuse to watch it because I don't want to tarnish my memory of the original. I'll just go watch Full Monty 1 again.
That's entirely fair. But I just, and in defense of one of the Disney live-action films, their first real live-action film, Cinderella, was actually really, really good. It's a very good film.
Yeah, but that's not really part of that chain.
The rest are
that was before they started
It was a flagship for it.
Yeah, but it was before they started the pure cynical cash-in stream that they're doing now.
But it was an excellent film. I was very impressed with it from start to finish. I thought they did a fantastic job. And then they started doing things like The Lion King and The Jungle Book and all that crap, and it was all just trash.
Fucking Aladdin.
I haven't watched any of them.
I actually saw the Aladdin one.
Sorry, what?
I said I haven't watched any of them.
But they're Disney movies.
Yeah, and
they're
don't
on Disney
fucking
Plus.
watch Disney.
But they're on Disney Plus, Ryan. How could you not have seen them?
I haven't seen the originals of most of these.
I think he's lying. He's trying to cover his
Aladdin. Fuck Aladdin.
Fuck you, Aladdin's great.
No,
not the
fuck
live-action Aladdin. That one can go die in a fire. But the original Aladdin was good.
Yeah, it actually wasn't bad.
No. I hate Aladdin.
Okay, we're going to start calling you a boo.
I've never even finished Lion King. I've never watched Lion King in full either.
Yeah, so you don't have to call him RJ anymore, people. His name is officially Abu.
Man, with that Lion King reveal.
Best part of
You haven't seen The Lion King either?
Not in full. I always fall asleep.
Have you seen The Little Mermaid? Beauty and the Beast?
These are like golden age Disney. This is like peak Disney animated.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
Beauty and the
haven't
Beast.
watched any of this shit.
Beauty and the Beast
I'm not a Disney fan.
is probably one of the most beautifully animated films you will ever see.
I know as a kid I watched Little Mermaid. I don't remember shit about it.
It's cute. It's funny. Yeah, but Beauty and the Beast
actually has pretty good messaging in it too.
Yeah, I mean, I respect the messaging of Beauty and the Beast. I might have watched that one as a kid too, but I don't remember anything about it.
The original, like the first version that Disney did, Beauty and the Beast.
That was always more of a Snow White mark.
There's a lot of female empowerment and things like that in it.
the whole thing's a discussion about how bad people are able to handle an independent woman.
Yeah, yeah, and it's very it's very telling. But it's also what it's like to be a liberal in a world full of Republicans and conservatives is literally what the story is.
Yeah, that's
It's
exactly
somebody
it.
who actually is a free thinker having to deal with an entire society of people who are not free thinkers.
Yeah, stop
And
reading
it's
these
about-
books. Go date the
You know,
hot guy that's abusive because he's hot.
Yeah, and she runs away. She finds what we could basically call a small clique of unique, free-thinking people, which are like the teacup and like the furniture from the Magic Castle, but they're all fun, full of different ideas and concepts, and of course the conservatives try to destroy them. Literally, it's basically
This isn't
Frankenstein.
Dan reaching. That's literally the messaging of the movie.
Yeah, it's.
If I describe a movie as having good messaging, it's got leftist undertones. It's that simple.
Yeah, and this Beauty and the Beast, and like I say, visually, the animation is incredible. It's some of the most beautiful animation you will ever see in a film in your life. Right, I saw Beauty and the Beast in the theaters, and I came away from it incredibly impressed.
I'll go
with the
make
amount
sure
of
to watch
time and
Beauty
effort
and the
they
Beast
put into
tonight
it.
from 2015.
Where did you get that from?
That one does not.
Okay. The 2015, I think it was with Emma Watson or somebody.
To be fair, that's like the best live action, the one that's gotten the best reviews that I've heard.
Well, it's got the best reviews, and there are moments that are actually really good because they did cast it very, very well.
It's better than most of the live actions because they also don't completely shit on the original message of the film. It's not as strongly conveyed, but they don't destroy it. Like the live action Lion King that completely removes the original story and basically turns Scar into like a legitimate ruler.
A sympathetic character.
He's sympathetic, but also the way they change it makes him the legitimate ruler, and then fucking Simba comes back and kills him and takes over.
Yeah,
it turns it into a coup.
Oh, it's horrible. But like,
I will say we do still have a comic left to cover.
Yeah, so if you get a chance to see the Beauty and the Beast, the animated one, I highly recommend it. If you get a chance to see the live action one, you haven't seen it, it's not bad. Casting's great.
Fine.
They did a pretty good job. And if you
won't
get to see
regret watching the live action.
I've tried to tell these
either
people
one.
that I'm not the Disney mark they make me out to be, but they don't
He
listen.
really is. Don't let him lie. He's lying to you. He's a horrible Disney mark.
I've barely seen any mainline Disney shit.
They are the worst Disney mark you'll ever meet. But also,
They haven't seen the mainline stuff because they're too busy watching The Little Mermaid 2.
There's a Little Mermaid 2?
I think there's even a 3. This was in the era of the direct DVD or direct to VHS at the time.
Oh, that's right.
Disney
Because Aladdin
sequels.
did the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, all the
Lion King
classic
got a sequel
animation.
too, which nobody.
Yeah,
which
all the
shocked
classic
people.
animations have at least one sequel that's
Even
terrible
Lilo
and
and-
is just
yeah.
a shallow crash in.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch even did it.
Yeah,
Lilo and
because
Stitch
had
like 5
Disney
movies.
shallow cash-ins
They
on
had a
their
series.
beloved properties is not
And
a
a TV
new
show.
thing that's come along.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and
yeah,
it's getting a live action.
What?
Yes, I heard Lilo and Stitch.
I hate Lilo and Stitch. I've seen most of
Why?
them though.
Well, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not horrible.
The first one was fine.
It talks
but-
about family values. It's kind of cute.
I mean, it has a fine enough message. I just don't think
they
it's
want
that
they want to
great.
do something controversial. Make a live action Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, they're going
that
for the
should kiss every
controversial
pass.
with Lilo and Stitch too.
Castan.
Oh yeah, that's right. They've cast an Hawaiian girl to play the Hawaiian girl. I don't know what the
Except
hell
she's
they're
like
thinking.
not
Hawaiian.
actually native Hawaiian.
Doesn't matter. I'd rather they just cast the best actor for the job.
That would be nice, but no,
It would.
this one's
'Cause
not.
I saw
This
an
one's
example
a
of
cynical rage bait casting.
yeah. Well, I saw an example of Haley Bailey's acting from the Little Mermaid live action one, and oh my god, that girl cannot act.
No, they
Oh my
got
God,
her
you
because
watched-
she could sing.
You
Oh,
watched
and
the X-Men movies,
She
didn't you?
can sing.
Yeah, but it
not
would be
Halle
nice
Berry,
if they.
Haley
Yeah.
Bailey or whatever fucker.
Yeah, it would be. I think it is actually Halle Berry, but it's just a different Halle Berry.
Halle Bailey.
Okay,
Right.
maybe that's it.
Yeah,
I haven't
Halle
paid a lot of
Bailey.
attention. But yeah, they got her
girl's
because
got a
she
set
could.
of pipes on her. She can
Yeah,
sing
they-
like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
people can also act and sing at the same time, and they didn't bother
Hugh
to find that.
Jackman, yeah. Yeah, no, Hugh Jackman, Emma Stone, et cetera, et cetera. There are a lot of actors out there with amazing vocal abilities.
And I mean, it's not like they couldn't have gone the cop-out option too of getting a good actress to play the Ariel, and then dubbing Halle Berry or whatever the fuck her name is over for the singing.
Well, they had a.
Haley
There
Bailey.
was
I
a
didn't.
very.
I didn't even know. I remember when people were raging about the cast and like I thought people were calling her Halle Berry. I wasn't even.
I
paying
thought that
attention.
was her name too.
It's Halle Bailey.
Yeah, it is.
Is her name.
I didn't know it was
now,
a different person this whole time.
I knew it was a different person because she's not like 40. But
yeah.
Well, I
But
didn't
to make-
pay attention at all because I don't care about these
Yeah.
Disney movies.
But to cover Bill's point, the reason they went for somebody who actually could sing is because there was a lot of backlash on poor Emma Watson because she can do a lot of things. She's a decent actress and everything, but she cannot sing away at a wet paper bag. And they auto-tuned the crap out of her voice for Beauty and the Beast.
yeah, no, that was not a
Right.
good
So
movie.
they let her sing, but they had to auto-tune it like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, and I'm suggesting
And it
actually
really
dub in a
hurt to listen
different
to.
singer. Don't get the shitty singer to sing. Dub in an actual
Yeah.
good singer over her and just have her lip sync. Or
But they-
even just sing it and then just remove the audio and put in the audio of the good singer.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, the thing is, Halle Bailey is a brilliant vocalist. She's really, really good.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Keep her for the
I love her
vocals
voice.
and the singing and just fucking have someone
Yeah.
else play Ariel.
Yeah. All right, because she's like, God bless her, she tried so hard, but she's just not a good actress.
Nah,
And she
I got
did
nothing
try.
against her. She tried.
Although, to be fair, too, I want to throw this in there. I've seen a lot of good actors who look like crap, and it's really a director that failed them.
Yeah,
So she could be a good actress, and just the director failed her, for all we know.
that is true. I think this might be
It's
our
certainly
first role.
possible. But, I mean, we're digressing and we're going way off topic here, but
Yes.
I just wanted to warn you guys that there is a full Monty Disney thing coming, and I am seriously unhappy about it.
We got to get back to Dan's favorite topic, which of course is Amazing Spider-Man, with issue
No,
number
we don't.
22.
No, we don't. I've
We can
just spent
continue
20
to
minutes
talk
trying
about
to
the full
avoid
Monty
it.
too, if you would prefer.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's just
It'll
avoid
probably
Spider-Man
get
altogether.
you angrier than Spider-Man.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, do it. Get
This
it
one
over
is
with.
titled, let's get
Just
our last comic
use
out of the
lube
way.
first this time. Okay. Oh,
Presenting the clown
I
and the
knew he was
Masters of
faking his
Menace.
orgasms.
The clown and the Masters of Menace. This one's Stanley.
You weren't ready for that, were you?
Stanley and Steve Ditko working on this one, of course. Letters done by Artie Simic. December 1964 release date. And a 20-page story. And Bill, please get us through this one fast.
All right. Anytime you two want to stop giggling over there,
I'm good to go.
Ryan. Spider-Man pays a visit to the Ringmaster and his cronies, giving them a warning and subtly placing a spider tracer on the Ringmaster's hat before leaving. Seeing that their current trick no longer works, the gang decides to give Ringmaster the heave-ho and elect the Clown as their new leader. Meanwhile, Betty Brant invites Peter to join her at an art exhibit that J. Jonah Jameson is sponsoring.
Ooh.
Outside, though, the Clown and his cronies are breaking in to rob the place, using Cannonball to break down a door and the Clown to distract the art exhibit visitors. Peter recognizes the Clown from the Ringmaster's gang. What the fuck are you doing there?
Go on.
Oh, okay. I could just hear
No.
something
Yeah, sorry. I'm just
No worries.
my asthma's really bothered me lately.
It's probably all the smoke in the air. I think it
Yeah.
got bad last night.
It did. I can feel it.
I could when I woke up. Anyway, Peter recognizes the clown from the ringmaster's gang, and Jameson sees Cannonball stealing a picture off the wall. While trying to stop the theft, Jameson gets knocked out cold by a headbutt from the Cannonball.
Told you.
He's upset because they're stealing from him.
Doesn't matter. It's still stealing, and he's trying to stop them. He's the good guy.
Spider-Man, not knowing the split up of the gang, follows his spider tracer to the ringmaster to see him leaving a police station as an innocent man, but uses the ringmaster's hat to hypnotize him and find out where the real crooks are. Yet, as the newly named Masters of Menace celebrate their heist, Spider-Man finds them and, while kept off balance, manages to fight them all off. One of the members, Princess Python, runs away, and Spider-Man tries to be a gentleman, not fighting a woman, and instead pleads with her to surrender. While Spider-Man is knocked into her snake pit, the ringmaster decides to get revenge and knocks the clown out cold, making his way out with the treasure. The ringmaster is caught red-handed with the paintings, and the rest of the gang, including Princess Python, is rounded up by the police. That's it.
Thank God.
This was a pretty mediocre Spider-Man issue.
It was.
Really? Really?
I actually gave this one.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, I actually gave this one 2 stars. I didn't like this one.
This one earned a 3 from me, but it was mostly on the strength of the Jonah stuff.
Yeah, well, he's the real hero of the piece. You know.
Some of the interactions with Jonah were quite fun, especially when he got all offended that people would dare steal from him.
When I was reading this and I was reading it fast and kind of totally not 100% paying attention, I didn't realize that Jonah got taken out of commission, and I had to go back to realize what happened to Jonah at one point.
That was actually a pretty great moment.
It was when I realized what happened. Also, I thought the art was a little weaker than normal in this one.
Yeah, Ditko was definitely rushing on this one. It's a December issue when the bullpen was overloaded, and I'm pretty sure the deal was, you get the comics done, and then you get Christmas break until January.
No,
so
yeah, fair enough.
Because I noticed it last year too. Pretty much all of the December issues have bad stories and are rushed.
Really?
Like rushed art,
unlike
bad
all
stories.
the other Marvel comics that we've been
probably why
reading
Bob
for the
Powell
last year.
got a few comics.
Yeah, Bob
Yeah.
got 2 comics this month because Jack wanted to go home.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But yet, I gave it 3. It was fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but
It exists.
it was a comic that I read and didn't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
Kind of
last
like an
comic
episode
of
of
the day.
Babylon 5. It's there. It exists. Didn't offend me too much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So what are we covering next month, Ryan?
More crap.
Next month,
next
well, I'll have
Or
to
next week.
Go ahead a bit.
Next week.
Whatever.
Well,
Next week.
next week we'll be covering Sergeant Fury and Sergeant Fury and the Silent Commandos number 16. We'll start the week off, where we go into a fortress in the desert. A fortress in the desert stands. Number 17 we will also be covering right after that, which is called While the Jungle Sleeps, and then we will leave. We will leave
Sorry.
wartime and come back to Fantastic Four number 37.
Okay.
Behold the Distant Star. Then Amazing Spider-Man number 23. The Green Goblin returns with some gangsters.
Yay! Finally, a good villain.
So, like, 4 pretty good-looking comics in a row to kick off next week.
Yeah. One good villain and a bunch of crap. Oh, I got you. No problem.
I hope you didn't want to end on a high note, because after that we got a Giant Man 2-parter with Tales to Astonish number 66 and 67, where we meet the menace of Madame Macabre.
Oh,
Really?
Madame Macabre. That's the one I thought was the second to last one. So this is the one where the size
So
still shows up.
66. And then
Yeah, guess which one
67.
of us saps is going to get stuck with that one?
And then 67 is the mystery of the hidden man. Okay, so it's not a
Yeah,
two-parter?
it's not a two-parter. It's
I
just
thought it-
2 stories. The last 2 are the two-parter.
Okay.
I had the
thought-
order reversed. I thought the last 2 were next, and then these 2 finished it off.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, we'll end off on 2 Giant Man. I'm sure that will be nice. I didn't know Madame Macabre showed up this early. And then Giant Man, that's pretty... That sucks
I didn't know
for
she
her.
was a returning character.
I think she is she not? Have you not had
no,
her
this
at all?
is her only appearance.
Oh, I'm mixing her up with somebody then.
You're thinking of someone else, and I think
I'm
I know
thinking
who
of
you
the-
are.
Yeah, it's the
I
Iron
think
Man
you're thinking
villain
of the
I'm
one
thinking
from the Iron Man.
Yeah. I forget her name. Madame Mask
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, Madame Mask. She shows up in a year or so.
Okay.
She actually does show up really early, but
I didn't
it's
think
not.
she showed up that early, but anyway.
Mm,
Well,
she does, and it's
does
great.
anybody really care? I think is the question you should be asking.
yeah, she's a
yourself.
great villain, actually. But anyways, that's next
Put her up
week's
against
comics.
Jay Jonah.
And we've been
He'll
here
teach her a lesson.
longer than normal, actually. This has been a bit of an
That's
extended
because we
episode.
went on a couple of
Yeah, we
tangents.
kind of went off on a couple of
But
rants.
to be fair, this was actually a really fun episode, so I don't regret the length.
Right.
I think we would have finished in our normal amount of time if
If we
Full
didn't
Monty
take
2 didn't
liberties.
exist. So blame Disney.
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally Disney's fault, people. Fuck Disney. I'm so
So-
mad at them right now.
We
It's
have-
got nothing to do with their live action remakes. Nothing.
We have some ideas brewing for some new content that might come your guys' way sooner or
Yeah,
later.
we might actually do something entertaining that you might want to see
Yes,
sometime
something
in the future.
that it may
Don't
be.
count on it.
Yeah, I mean, we're thinking about doing some gaming, but we'll see what
Yeah, a
happens.
little about gaming.
Little bit of
The three of
gaming.
us, yeah. We're also thinking about maybe doing a bit of a reaction to certain shows, like Red Dwarf.
Well, yeah, that too. That is another thing. We're thinking of doing live.
I'm not sure
live
Red
reactions
Dwarf
to
would
stuff.
actually be a good option because 2 of us have seen it so many times that
Yeah,
there's not
that's
really
fair.
any reaction left in that.
Yeah. Well,
And,
what are we going to react to that, Ryan,
I have
that we have seen and Ryan hasn't seen?
a
Everything.
lot of things, but
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we Sharknado episode of Crew 616 might
Oh,
still
we still got to
exist.
do
It
that,
might
don't
not.
we? Yeah. Yeah.
We still had to do that, and we had lined up our disappointments episode of movies or video games. That's what it was. The disappointments of video
disappointing
games.
video games. Yeah.
That we had at least those 2 lined up that we should probably do at some point.
Some point in time. Yeah.
So
That's a
stay
good call.
tuned for
Yeah.
some new and different
Original
content. Hopefully coming soon. No dates yet. No, we'll let you know when we're gonna do it on one of these episodes. So, but just want to tease
Or
that
we'll
it's
just
coming.
drop it randomly on YouTube because we'll all
That
have
too.
time one day and do it. And just
Well,
Yeah, it's 'cause
that's
we've got
more of the
nothing better to do with
gaming.
our lives.
The gaming is going to be more of a random thing, but for something like the Crew 616 bonus episodes, those you'll probably be told
Well, the three
beforehand.
of us could take a crack at Dead by Daylight or something.
I've actually played that.
Yeah, that'd be fun though.
yeah.
It would be.
That'd be a hoot and a half.
But yeah, anyway, guys, we will see you in whatever comes next. I'm assuming another episode of Route 616. Next week's actually got some good comics. Maybe that'll be fun. But anyways, we will see you on. Well,
And just quit watching
yeah.
after Spider-Man.
leave a like,
Tune in
subscribe,
next week when you'll hear Ryan say, "I don't know, I've never watched it."
leave a like, subscribe, comment, even share if you'd like to. If you're on YouTube, we're also available on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And if you're on Spotify, click that poll. Tell us why you love Giant Man's new costume. Anyways, we'll see you on the next episode, and peace out.
Have a good one.